The crowd outside the small town airport buzzed with excitement. Supporters waved flags and chanted slogans, their voices rising in unison. Among them stood a boy no older than 13, clutching a folded American flag tightly against his chest. His small frame was dwarfed by the sea of adults around him, but there was something about his presence, something unshakable and profoundly moving that caught everyone's attention. No one could have guessed that this boy, with his solemn expression and strikingly bright blue eyes, was about to change the course of the day, or that his story would reach hearts across the nation. As the motorcade rolled up, the crowd erupted into cheers. Former President Donald Trump stepped out, his signature confident demeanor on display. His handshake was firm, his smile unwavering as he greeted the people who had come to see him. But amidst the applause and adoration, his gaze fell on the boy with the flag. Trump paused. It was as if the world around him blurred, and all he could see was the boy's steady, unyielding stare. "What's your name, son?" Trump asked, his voice carrying both authority and genuine curiosity. The boy's lips trembled for a moment before he answered. "Ethan, sir." "Ethan Walker." Trump knelt slightly, lowering himself to the boy's level. "Well, Ethan, what brings you here today?" The crowd fell silent. Ethan's hands tightened around the flag. "My dad. He was a Marine. He died last year in Afghanistan." The words hung in the air, heavy and raw. Some in the crowd gasped softly. Others wiped away tears that had already begun to well up. Trump's expression softened, the weight of the boy's pain settling visibly on his shoulders. "This was his flag," Ethan continued, his voice steady despite the emotion behind it. "They gave it to me at his funeral. I wanted to bring it here today, to show you." Trump's eyes flickered with emotion. He reached out, gently touching the edge of the folded flag. "Your dad was a hero, Ethan, and so are you for carrying his legacy." Tears brimmed in Ethan's eyes, but he didn't let them fall. He looked up at Trump with a mix of vulnerability and strength. He always believed in this country. He said it was worth fighting for. Trump's voice broke slightly as he responded. "And it's people like him that make this country great. Thank you for sharing this with me, Ethan." But what happened next was something no one anticipated. Trump stood and took Ethan by the hand, guiding him to the front of the crowd. He turned to address the onlookers, his voice firm but filled with emotion. "This young man lost his father so that we could live in freedom, so that our children could grow up in a country of opportunity and hope. His courage today is a reminder to all of us of the sacrifices made by our brave men and women in uniform." The crowd erupted in applause, many wiping away tears. But Trump wasn't done. He turned back to Ethan and said, "I want you to know something, son. Your dad's sacrifice will never be forgotten. And I'm going to make sure you have everything you need to succeed. Whatever you need, we'll make it happen." "That's a promise." Ethan's composure faltered for the first time. Tears streamed down his face as he managed to quiet. "Thank you." Trump embraced the boy then, a gesture so genuine and heartfelt that it seemed to transcend politics or public image. It was simply one human being offering solace to another. As the event wrapped up, Trump called his team over, issuing orders to ensure that Ethan and his family were taken care of. He even invited Ethan to visit him in New York, promising him a private tour and a chance to share more about his father's story. By the time the motorcade pulled away, Ethan's story had spread through the crowd like wildfire. People were inspired, moved, and united by the powerful reminder of what it meant to serve and sacrifice for a greater cause. That night, as the news aired clips of the encounter, millions of viewers were introduced to Ethan Walker and his father's legacy. Across the country, people shared the story, reflecting on the importance of family, service, and resilience. For Ethan, it wasn't about the cameras or the promises. It was about honoring his dad. And as he clutched the flag that night, A small smile crossed his face. He knew his father would have been proud.